So we nearly didn't get Steven Gerrard, the footballer.
No.
Young Stevie G.
Yeah, skinhead.
It's just no nonsense.
Rough, raw, bit of acne going on. You know, I'd walk around the house and then look good. I'm telling you. He's box office, you know, I played with him, he was like playing with one of the Beatles. You know, he was a superstar, and you don't realise how excited I was when I seen this get launched. Seeing him, you know, that ping and, you know, flipping the elastic over the front and all that. I felt pretty much unstoppable in that boot.
Welcome to Unlaced, the series from Rare Boots Marketplace that takes you inside the world of professional football. Here, legends of the game and some of the biggest names today open up about the boots that shaped their careers, the memories, the moments, and the stories only they can tell. Whether it's old school classics or today's ultra modern technology, we're going to give you a behind the scenes insight into players' lives and opinions through the boots that shaped them. This is Unlaced. Stevie, absolute pleasure to have you on the show, in your hometown as well. It's not just a pleasure because you had such an incredible career, so many trophies, so many iconic moments. It's because we're here with Rare Boots Marketplace, and I don't think there's a player that I can remember that defined the Adidas Predator in the way that you did. Would you agree with that?
Very flattered, because there's obviously been a lot of iconic top players that have wore Predator, and there still is obviously to today. So to be in the conversation for me is very flattering, and it's the reason I'm here. It's not because we're in Liverpool, it's because I have got a special infinity with Adidas and with the Predator boot. For me, I didn't wear them for any other reason that I thought they were the best boot at the time and very much suited my game.
I feel like every era of your career had the Predator boot attached to it. So before we open up the Rare Boots vault and we take you through some of the iconic Predators that you wore, I want to know, are you a boot guy? Like, what do football boots mean to you, like, personally?
Well, the juices get flowing when I see a good boot. And that's any good boot, by the way. Obviously, I had an endorsement with Adidas. I'm quite biased towards them, but if I was to go back and play again, it'd always be Adidas Predator for me. Not any Adidas, it had to be the Predator, just because I felt good in them before a ball was kicked. You know, when you put a boot on, I think it's important, first and foremost, that they're comfortable. I was lucky and, well, extremely lucky that my boots were tailor-made, if you like, to
we're gonna get into that. Don't ruin all the
shape
surprises.
of feet, bunions, you know, sweet spots. I was quite lucky to be able to have an input. So, you know, the service as well around Adidas, they're just, for me, the number one brand, the number one tailor for a boot. And I'm not just saying it because I'm obviously linked to them, but some of the goals I scored and some of the performances I put in, Predator played a big part in that.
100%. Now, I'm going to show you a few of your Predator models that you wore throughout your career, starting in 1998. I want to hear your thoughts. Like, as soon as you see them, I want to hear the initial reaction and where that boot takes you. So, if you wouldn't mind, please open up the Rare Boots Marketplace vault. And as you can see here,
straight away, it's the colours. I was someone who had many discussions with Adidas about keeping the black, red and white.
The original colourway.
Yeah, they're my number one choice in terms of on the eye, the feel. Obviously, I understand the marketplace. You've got to sell boots. Kids like different colours. You know, children want yellow, they want green, blue, reds, whites and all that. But for me, the number one Predator is black, white and red. That is the Predator.
That's like the royal colours almost.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so we grab the accelerators here. I mean, we're going back to 98 now. You have that in your hand, the memories come flooding back.
Yeah, I just felt like an animal in these boots. This would be definitely in my top three. I think the very first Predators were a bit like wow, and they were groundbreaking. They had a lot of teeth and a lot of
They were quite chunky, weren't they?
They're quite chunky and heavy. I think this was the first model where they went to the real elite stage of football boots, and I could wear this boot today. That's how good of a boot it is. A lot of Predators, as we go through the journey, I'm not sure I would pick or choose. Maybe they suited other players, which is fine, and you'd have to keep keep evolving the boot, but that would look good today. And I think a boot that looked good in 98 or 99 and still looks good now is for me got to be in the top 3. The shape of the tongue, the teeth and the blades, the size of the studs. I mean, I felt pretty much unstoppable in that boot.
Young Stevie G.
Yeah, skinhead.
No nonsense.
Rough, raw, bit of acne going on. But basically went onto a football pitch and felt like I could go up against anyone. And as I say, before a ball was kicked, looking down at these babies,
it give
special.
When you put them on, it gave you a little bit of a. You already had the demeanour.
I can feel a feeling now, and obviously I'm not playing till March.
Well, we'll make sure you go home with them.
Yeah.
When you look at those boots next to the modern day Preds, what comes to mind? What changes do you see?
Well, it's the shape. I mean, that's the perfect shape. Looking down on a boot. I used to love the elastic tongue. The tongue shaped where it's not in the way, it's not too big, it's not too floppy. Just the shape of the teeth and the blades is exactly what I'd want. And this was a really comfortable boot as well, especially when you get them tailor-made for you. You felt like you had slippers on. So
even at that early stage of your career coming through.
The only thing I would say is Adidas now are designing boots that look this good, and they're probably slightly lighter. You know, with the materials but these are, you know, some of the boots now, in my opinion, are very too light. Maybe not protected too much. You know, if you get a heavy tackle, or
especially in a cold day. You know, we're up in Liverpool now. I mean, it's
exactly
your toes are falling off in some of the new boots.
Whereas they were light enough, felt great, but also look amazing. I mean, that is that boot.
Exactly, just reimagine
a bit more sexy, innit? More sexy.
Is that something, because where you played, you know, box to box, marauder, could pass, could tackle, the weight of the boot, I feel like, you know, when you have somebody like on the wing who's a pace merchant, they really care about the kind of the weight and the lightness. But would you feel like that boot had a little bit more, you know what I mean, bit more meat to it?
A bit more meat to it, a bit more protection. But I think now the detail of the game and the analytics, I think the lighter, the comfier, obviously the tackling's maybe not going completely, but it's definitely phasing out. There's less tackles, there's less duels. So you would get away with that boot now, but I think going back to 98, playing against some of the players that I played against, Gattuso's, Keane's, Vieiras, you know, they're standing all over you, cleverly.
So who was the worst for it?
I'm not sure that. Dennis Wise was up for it. There was loads. Savage. You know, people who'd been around the block, people who knew how to leave one on you. Neil Lennon's of the world. Obviously the ones that are always in the conversation, Keane's, Vieiras. You know, they'd let you know early doors in a game, and they're like so light. I'm just not sure. In our generation, I think you'd probably be wanting to have a bit more protection.
I'm sure. I think the dark arts has kind of gone out of the game as the boots have got lighter and a bit more sleek.
That makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. It works. His technology and the game's changing at the same pace. Now, grab the Predator Precisions. They're the Precisions. They were actually my first ever pair of football boots. I'm not sure I achieved as much in the game as you in them. Sunday League, can't even say I was top scorer, but a couple of assists. I mean, when you look at them, you can see the boots then evolved again.
It's starting to evolve, you can see obviously the teeth and the blades much lighter. So when you're a player, you know, Adidas, they take feedback. It would have been mainly in the UK from David Beckham, probably myself, Frank Lampard, people who were Adidas players, they always ask for feedback. You can see change the shape of the tongue. Maybe some people, when they wore the round, the tongue felt like it was getting in the way with long passes or with shots. I actually prefer the previous tongue. Starting to stick it down rather than having the elastic in the way. I prefer the elastic, so it's very much each to their own. But to evolve it, you can see how they've tried to change it. More of a whiter sole, maybe for a better visual, reaching out to maybe a younger
as
the
TV
crowd as well.
kind of,
But again, an amazing boot. But for me, if I had the choice, it'd definitely be the first pair.
When you kind of linked up with other players, you're in the dressing room, whether it be at England or Liverpool, and you're wearing the same boots. Do you boys, you spoke about David Beckham and all these other incredible Adidas athletes. Do you speak about the boots? You say, this is what I like about the boot, this is what I would change?
I think first and foremost, we speak about when we're waiting for it, you get a prototype boot, which is blacked out. Yeah. Because obviously they want you to try and test it and give you feedback before they launch it. It has to be right for the players who are wearing it. So we almost get a flavour of what's coming, but then when you see the colours coming, when you're waiting for your name and your stamp and your own ID on it, it's some buzz. You know, and then your delivery comes and you're opening them and you're discussing it with the players in the booth. Well, these are the tools. These are the tools of the trade. Like, you know, I'm no one without my footy boots.
You know what they say, a good workman never blames his tools, and those tools were extremely successful for you because it's a treble season. Yeah. I want to break it down. What do you love technically about this boot, and how did it help you achieve the things you did in that incredible season?
Well, I think after my initial breakthrough, which was November to May, going into my first full season, trying to establish myself as the number one midfielder in the team, or to stay in the team rather than just being a squad player. I was still in and out, so the drive and the ambition was to stay into the team. So I knew I had to improve a lot of aspects of my game: short passing, long passing, shooting from distance, inside of the foot, outside of the boot. So these boots certainly helped me to establish myself in the Liverpool first team. Started getting goals. I think I scored 10, 11 goals that season. 19, 20, so it was a big season, and this was a really important boot for me at the time.
Is there a key moment, you know, when you look at those boots, it takes you back to a game or a moment or a goal that kind of just comes to mind?
Well, as you say, we won the treble. I scored in the Europa League final, probably back in the day. You don't realise how important that is till you finish your career. You know, you think about how important it is now to win the Europa League, to get in the Champions League, you know, what it's done for Tottenham in the last, 6 months. A big, huge game of football, and to score in it as a 20-year-old. Some buzz at the time, but looking back now, a really proud moment for me.
100%. Now, do you have any like rituals or habits around the boots or pre-game? Because that was like almost like your coming out season. Like, this is, I'm here to stay now, and I'm performing in big games. Were there any superstitions or
not big ones, things? Little ones that are probably not important to anyone else, but just for my own head? Always right foot before left. Always soak in warm water before you wear them. Always asked Adidas for a different type of back. I used to have problems with the back of my feet. So I'd always ask for maybe like a lower back, you know, rather than the higher back. So you'd notice on some of my boots, maybe on photographs, where the back's maybe slightly lower. So just little things really, but nothing groundbreaking that would make headlines.
So you wouldn't annoy Adidas by saying, "Listen, I need 50 different customizations. No. I need a different sole plate."
I know some players. I think David wore new boots every single game. I think JT did, obviously a different brand, but I think he wore new boots every game. That was their type of superstitions. I was normally a 4 or 5 game person. You know, if we played 3 or 4 games and you played in the rain, you'd probably have to change them after it because they'd lose shape and feel.
Could you feel that difference?
Certainly with the leather ones. With the leather ones, you know, for example, that boot and the previous boot, if we played on a muddy pitch in the FA Cup or a real heavy soaking wet day, they would become a little bit more stretched, and then you'd lose that feel, because I like my boots really tight.
Fair play. You have a preference on studs or mould? They're obviously the firm ground.
Yeah.
I
used to wear mixed early on, so you know, some kit men would take some of the moulds out.
Was that an option? That was just a customization from you.
Well, the brand started doing it, but if you didn't, you could get the kit man to saw them off, and then they could be manufactured into mixed. I done my metatarsal at Old Trafford. I missed about 8 to 10 weeks with a metatarsal. Then I stopped wearing studs because I felt like it was the studs that done that. I tried to twist at Old Trafford and I felt my metatarsal snap. So then I wore moulds all the way through from probably 2002-3. I wore moulds all the way through.
Wow. So it was the one key moment that kind of changed your entire outset on...
Just feel and comfort, But a lot of people are the other way, won't wear moulds. They feel like they're too soft on the pitch.
So with the tongue there, you mentioned you preferred the elastic. When the Velcro comes in, is there an element of what if it ain't broke, don't fix it?
No, it wasn't like game changing. Just a preference. You know, I look at the boot now, today's boot, and I just think the elastic.
When you think of a Predator, whether it's the Mania, the accelerators, the precision, you want the elastic, right?
The elastic's part of the Predator for me. That's my own personal opinion, and that was the feedback I gave. But obviously, other people that are more important than me got their own way and got the Velcro. But
what are you saying? Is that D-Bex? Is that a little shot at
well,
shot at the big man?
Well, I'll have it from him, not many others.
Yeah, fair play. If you're gonna get it from anybody, you might as well get it from him. Yeah. Where would they rank for you? As in?
Not in the top 3.
Okay.
Not lovely boots, done me no harm at all.
Yeah.
Definitely not in the top 3.
Okay, cool. Well, we're going to go to a boot that I feel like could potentially sneak into the top 3. Maybe one of the most iconic Predators of all time, the Predator manias. We're talking 02, 04.
Well, look, the back. I think the back, they've come back in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Obviously, in more of a shiny silver and a nice grey colour. I think the boots that they've brought out last couple of weeks are out of this world.
Yeah.
This would be top 3.
Yeah.
Again, elastics back. It's fine with the shape of the tongue. Teeth are fine, like the blades, the curl. Leather, comfortable. On the eye, how they look. Straight lines on the Adidas. I think sometimes they try and complicate that, but yeah, this would be definitely top 3, maybe in the 1 or 2.
These boots, I mean, for me, define an era of rivalry, emotion. Cup final in there as well.
Man United Cup final, yeah, League Cup final. Got a bit of a lucky deflection, but this was the boot. This was the boot.
When you think of those manias, they've got rid of now the rubber on the outside of the boot. Big design change. Happy with it? And what emotions do those boots bring back when you look at them? Does it take you back to a specific time or a game or a tournament?
I can remember the cup final against United, winning that. Scoring in the League Cup final against your big rivals and winning the game 2-0. I remember removing the shirt and I remember wearing moles in the cup final. Lovely boots. Yeah, definitely top 3, that one.
There's always a question, a debate on where you would put the elastic on the manias, whether it was near the toe or further back. Where did you put them?
I think that's roundabout right. Same with that. So you're talking sort of middle to front. I didn't like it high.
Yeah.
Not here for me because then you get a bit of a lift on it. So I think they've got them spot on there in terms of the elastic and the tongue.
See, we've done our research there.
Yeah.
And I want to break down at this point. Is it still the made-to-measure service you get from Adidas, where you can kind of customize your boots, and it's probably a slightly different way to the general public getting them from a retailer? Yeah. Was it just the lower back?
We can't alter the boot in terms of, I think I had more of an input further down the line when they were a little bit more flexible, but at this time it was very much, in terms of the colours, it was an Adidas decision, and the shape and stuff, they obviously took a lot of feedback for a lot of the players, so we couldn't alter anything on the boot, unless it was a medical thing that you needed to change, obviously the height of the back or whatever. The more putting your stamp and your ID on it was more like your family names or something that was important to you, your own personal squad number. That was just maybe like a bonus service that every player got. But in terms of your boots getting made in Germany rather than maybe a China or Thailand or from the Far East, the boots in Germany were specifically made for your shape. So you'd go to the factory, they'd obviously do the shape of your feet with like a, I don't know what it's called, the material, plaster Paris or whatever, and they get the real shape of your boot and your size. Like my feet are different sizes. One of my feet is a 9.5, one is a 9.25.
So this is what I didn't even know 9.25 was a size.
Well, it's not, but if you're with Adidas,
when you're playing for Liverpool, it is.
This is the elite service. That was probably slightly different than the ones that you bought off the shelf. I had an accident when I was 10 with a garden fork in my foot, and I had a bit of my toe taken away. That's the reason why one was slightly smaller than the other. So luckily enough, I was at a level where Adidas could cater to that need and that service.
So we nearly didn't get Steven Gerrard, the footballer?
No.
Well, thank God for the guys in the NHS.
Well, thank God for everyone in Alderday Hospital, in Liverpool.
100%. So these boots, I mean, I think like they're probably the most iconic Predator for everybody watching this video. But where do they rank for you? You said maybe in the top 3. Maybe we're going to get into.
I think people would understand. I put them second.
Okay.
Because obviously I was lucky enough at the back end of my career to have a special boot made for myself. But if I didn't have that,
these would be
for my last game, they would be number one.
Okay,
they would be number one.
Now, the Predator Pulses. The next boots there, I mean, 04, 05, big moments in these boots.
Well, today is actually the anniversary of Olympiacos, isn't it?
It's
I don't know whether you want to put that in, but
almost like we planned it.
I've just seen it on the internet. Champions League final, Olympiacos, most important goals, arguably in my career. So 04 to 06 would be around this boot, and we'll get to that one. But these, obviously, in terms of the most important special goals are scored, would be between 04 and 06 for sure. You
said you look at the boots and you put boots on and you get an emotion, or you feel dangerous when you put them on. Is that probably one of the most dangerous that you felt?
Certainly in my prime. So we go back to the previous boot. I don't think they drastically changed this boot because everyone loved
the manias.
The manias. So same feel, similar shaped tongue. Again, the Adidas pretty similar, clarity on it. Probably made the back slightly comfier. I would say slightly lower.
Was that on your watch? You giving them so much aggie for?
I think if you look at the back, like the back heel bit, sometimes they're inside the boot. And when they're inside the boot, they can lead to a bit of rub and a bit of blisters. So Adidas, probably from a lot of players' feedback, started putting it on the back. It was a game changer for comfort, less issues. But in terms of prime and feeling awesome on a football pitch, they're the years for me.
You think after 8 years of creating the Predators, they're starting to really understand and what a professional footballer needs, somebody like you to really...
I'm not sure who was responsible for 04 to 06 Predators, but genius. I don't know who the guy is. I've never really met him. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't, but absolute genius, because I actually think, I shouldn't be saying this, but I think they went missing for a little while shortly after this and started losing the way, maybe trying to play to an audience and a market rather than the player. And I think that's the reason why they've gone full circle, because players' feedback is what they are. I think the Predator of today is very similar to 04 to 06.
100%. Now, I want to know, when you've got an affinity with Adidas that, throughout your career, you're synonymous with them. When did that relationship first start?
Well, on my Premier League debut, I wore Nike. Just because I was cleaning Dominic Matteo's boots and Jamie Redknapp's boots at the time, and they were Nike Tempo players, and they used to give me their spare boots. Nike Tempo with a safe boot. With my debut, I wanted to wear a black boot. I didn't want to be large.
You don't want to turn out with a pink boot or.
And then it was Gerrard Houllier, who was an ambassador for Adidas at the time, called me in and said, "Look, I think you should sit down with Adidas. I think they'll be really good for you." Blah blah. And then from that day, I think 98, 99, I signed with Adidas, and I'm still an ambassador as of today.
So thank God for Gerrard Houllier.
So one game in Nike.
One game in Nike. They must be kicking themselves.
713 in the Predator.
It does show you though that the boots obviously work. And I mean, we're talking about like what manias and what precisions and what pulses do is they talk about precision and power. And this is a part of your career where precision and power was also synonymous with the game.
Yeah, and they're not gimmies. You're not born with these. This is stuff from 7, 8 years of age, coming through the academy, repetition, extra work, games where you're not allowed to use your right foot, and different passing drills for fun and serious over distance, and really working on that part of my game. I think the power certainly came when I got my body and I got my legs in the gym and that type of stuff. But definitely something that you'd have to work on as a player. I think you're born with a certain level of talent, but then you've got to put the ingredients around the main thing, which is obviously work.
Hard work.
Just work and repetition and work on your weaknesses, and that's what I did daily, full time. Even before I went full time in '96, in the street, against the wall, against my brother, mates in the street, football.
For someone who's obviously football mad, who loves the game, who loves the city, to be sponsored by one of the biggest brands in the world, just be synonymous with the boot. It must be an incredible feeling where you go from cleaning Kara's boots to then...
Not Kara's.
Not Kara's. Sorry. You never lived that down.
I used to mop his dressing room. And clean all the off his boots. Yeah, you'll have to bleep that out. I used to clean the off his boots, but I didn't used to polish his boots.
Okay, all right. I'll take that back.
Redknapp.
I'll make
Redknapp, yeah, Fowler.
Okay. Fair, Redknapp and Fowler. We much easier to get away.
He'll understand.
But then to be that kid, to then being one of the brand's biggest athletes and getting your boots for free, that must have been a nice, like, welcome to the Premier League, welcome to almost a big time, mate.
It's a nice touch. Listen, I come from a council estate, really humble upbringing, and my mum and dad used to have to work extremely hard for me to have football boots. I remember going back to Patrick, Kevin Keegan, 6, 7 years of age. Wore all the different brands, Christmas present, what you want, kit boots. So very much appreciate and humbled by the service. I'm very lucky and privileged to be in that position. So I think that's where my love of boots come from. When you've had to, grow up and see your family work so hard and, understand the importance and the financial side of what families have to go through to put boots on kids. Certainly understand that side of it for sure.
Remember, it was one pair of boots in a season, and then you get your new pair of boots, and you go with your parents, and then honestly, I would sleep next to the boots. I put them by the bed.
Well, I always, when my boots were used, I was never someone who'd ever put them in the bin. I'd always try and find a home for them. Players, friends in Sunday League, charities, schools. I've probably only got 50 to 60 pair of my own boots, and I've probably gone through 500, but I've always tried to find a good home for them. Never someone who'd ever see a pair of boots go in the bin, for sure.
100%. Now, we're going to move on to the absolutes. We're talking 05, 07. Stevie, it's hard to say that there was one specific prime in your career because you had such a long and fruitful career, but when I look at those boots, there has to be prime Stevie in them, doesn't it?
Yeah, in terms of how I was playing and performing, but I think in terms of the boots, it would just fall outside.
Okay.
You started putting a bit of this on the sides, and just started stiffening them up a little bit.
Yeah.
Less leather, if you like.
Okay.
Still love the boots. Still think it's a top boot, but again, starting to get a bit more jazzy on the side and trying something different.
Yeah.
Still a lovely boot, very comfortable. Went more onto the blade side. I'm more of a stud man, if you'd ask me, in terms of the blades. Had some issues with the blades. Sometimes they could come out a little bit. Didn't like getting tackled off one of them, by the way. Nasty boots. But yeah, still a top boot. Still a fan, but definitely wouldn't be in my top 3.
I think you didn't like taking a tackle, but you give a few out.
Yeah, I put a few of them down, a few calves, so I'll only admit that.
Now, this is a boot you wore in what we'll know as the Gerrard final. Tell me about that game. Tell me about how you felt.
Well, it actually wasn't a great final in terms of our performance. We were under the cosh from the off. West Ham were terrific, by the way, individually to a man, collectively. Feel for the players in West Ham because it should have been their final rather than our final. I hadn't met any West Ham fans up until that final, really. And then every Cockney I bump into, a West Ham fan, and they go for me. But listen, I think got to be openly and honest. They deserve that final. They certainly did, and thankfully a couple of important goals from a personal perspective turned the game. The last one I was absolutely done. I was shattered. I only hit it because I was tired. Bit of luck involved, but got an unbelievable connection. The other goal for me, the set from Crouchy and the technique of the goal was probably a better goal from a technical point of view. But obviously the distance and the timing.
And the distance, the time, and the game.
Yeah, and obviously
the strike.
Yeah, and then it led to the outcome.
Yeah.
Penalty shootout needed to decide it, but yeah, definitely respect and feel for West Ham on that one. But yeah,
is that something you genuinely feel? You look at those boots and you scored two incredible goals. I mean, it's one of I can't remember really a better goal in a final.
No,
and you feel for West Ham.
No, listen, that's just my respect for West Ham. I think they're a top club. Always enjoyed competing against them. Great crowd. Create players from the academy. I love that about them. I'm a Newcastle West Ham type of guy outside when I take my Liverpool hat off. You know, I like the genuine, real fans. So
you're scoring fantastic goals. You're playing some of the best football of your career, but in boots that you wouldn't necessarily say you fell in love with.
No, definitely not in love. Really good boots. I had no issues with them. In the prime years, definitely. I think that final was one of my best performances. If you look at start to the end. And the boots definitely played a part. Going back to there's a few nice little subtle changes. The Adidas badge, the sign is different. Still a lovely boot, obviously changing a little bit around the back now, trying to modernise and evolve, which I understand, but just wouldn't be in my top three. But they wouldn't be far away. They wouldn't be far away.
Were you obsessed with looking after your boots? I guess it's a little bit different when you're playing at the level you are, where you kind of maybe don't have to put dubbing on your boots every bit. What would you do to look after them?
No, listen, very much in a privileged, lucky position where you have kit men, but always respected the kit men. Always tried to leave me boots in a decent enough state. I wouldn't leave them full of shite. Some kit men might disagree, but
we're going to go.
Probably depend on how the game went.
In the comments,
But yeah, I'd always put my boots in the hot water. I'd always, and if they needed a little bit of a top up after a warm up or anything, I'd always try and fix them myself.
Where would you rank these in terms of Predators you enjoyed? Is there different ones you enjoyed looking at versus playing in?
Yeah, I think some of the modern ones, some of the recent ones looked fantastic on the eye, but they were nowhere near as good as the ones from 04 to 08. Some of them look fantastic, more modern, but they wouldn't live with how I felt in them in terms of 04 to 08. Prime years, the boots were top, the shape, they weren't over the top, they were still sticking to the colours. I sort of not lost a little bit of love, but I didn't really like the Predators as they went from that moment on. I think they're back now. I fell in love with them again. But these were the prime. The primes. Prime.
Gerrard in his prime boots as well. Put them down. We're going to pick up the powerswerves. We're talking 07, 09. I know you like these.
I love them.
Yeah.
So these would be right up there, I think. Slightly better than the FA Cup final ones. Brought the leather back a little bit more. Cleaned the stripes up. Bring the Adidas sign on the back. That was nice.
What made these specifically the favourite? Because you've gone through 3 or 4 different iterations of boots. You're playing great football, you're scoring big days, but these...
I just think on the eye, they nailed it. I think going back to the previous boot, I think they tried a little bit too much.
They kind of stripped it back a little bit.
They just brought it a little bit back to 04, 05, which was the number 1, 2 boot for me. Just evolving the side, a bit more leather, a bit more feel on your passing. I mean, it's a sexy boot, isn't it?
Do you think that your opinion of the boot, of each Predator, is affected by the way you played and the goals you scored in each? Does it kind of skew your opinion on someone?
100%. If I was to design a boot, if Adidas would allow me to design my own boot, it would be black, white and red, and it would come out like a Predator from 04 to 8 for sure.
Can you explain that? What are the must-haves in a boot for you? So when you're looking at boots, say you're going to design the boot, what is an absolute must-have?
How it looks on the eye. Because I think how it looks on the eye gives you that feel of confidence and belief before the ball's kicked. Comfort, got to be comfortable. You know, the distances you have to run and the intensity you have to play at, comfort is a priority. And then it's got to have the right blend of materials. For me, obviously, you want it to be as light as possible, but the way I played in my generation, it had to be protective as well. You're going into tackles and duels and collisions. So I'd probably try and get the balance right of comfort, materials, and then obviously how I played. So, you know, how's me passing in them in terms of range, short, medium and long? What do they like to strike a ball in? I'd be taking all them things into consideration. But in terms of the Adidas, the logo and the tongue and stuff, just clarity, just clear and don't complicate it. Definitely an elastic tongue as well.
Definitely elastic
tongue. Fold over elastic tongue is a must.
Okay, all right. Explain the feeling of unboxing a new pair of boots. Like, obviously everyone has it as a kid, but like, do you still feel the excitement, the same excitement you felt as a kid? And
yeah, I think the best way to describe it is when you go down the stairs on Christmas morning and you see them, you know, your bike or whatever you've asked for, and Santa's delivered. That buzz. I used to go and check the reception all the time for deliveries. I'd be on the phone. What did you? They haven't come. When's he come? When's the DHL man coming? But yeah, like a big kid, Christmas.
Unbelievable. Do you still feel the same way, kind of looking at some of these iconic Predators, as you did?
I play in some exhibition games now, and when Adidas sent me the latest boots, I'm like a big kid.
It takes you back to that.
It takes me back. And obviously now, or the last game I played in was this one. So you can imagine me putting that on. That is prime.
It's a throwback. It takes you straight back to prime Stevie G.
Honestly, you don't realise how excited I was when I seen this get launched. And I'm not even playing anymore. But I'm thinking, I can't wait to watch players in this boot. Like, I'm watching Trent now in this boot, and Bellingham, and Curtis Jones and all that. I'm thinking, I know how you feel. I know how you feel.
And they're the generation coming after you, you know, making...
These are the new kids on the block, but I know how they feel putting these new boots on, and it's just an incredible buzz.
But you don't think that the only reason why you've got the superstars of today wearing boots is because players like yourself made them iconic?
Well, hopefully that is the case, but that was the same for me. Like, I wanted to wear Predators because Zinedine Zidane wore Predators, Paul Gascoigne wore Predators, Paul Ince wore Predators. That's the game, you know. You have your icons and the people you look up to, people you want to follow, you model your game on. Even Bex, you know, broke in at United probably 3, 4, 5 years before me. So seeing him, you know, that ping and you know, flipping the elastic over the front and all that, just I wanted to follow in that. Not from a Man United point of view, but
he kind of added the swagger element to the boots. Like, he had his own.
He's box office. He's you know, I played with him. He was like playing with one of the Beatles. You know, he was a superstar, and he everything he done was class, and there's no one, you know, who probably shoots a Predator boot more than him. So you know, you're following the people that have gone before, and hopefully I've obviously swayed maybe certain players to go down a Predator road.
I think more than a few.
Hopefully.
More than a few. Now, you've worn Preds from every single era, as we've seen. I want you to get them out, and I want you to place them down in the order.
So I'd say that would be number 1, number 2, and number 3. Those are the ones we've discussed.
Ultimate selection of Predators.
My 3 favourites, for sure.
What's your favourite? Wow.
So this is how we move with the time. So these were sent to me by Adidas as a gift. And this is basically the modern version of...
That is incredible. They've jazzed them up just enough.
Players and kids nowadays, they want a bit more colour.
Yeah.
You know, your nice silvers and stuff. I wanted the classic thing, but I mean, you'd feel good putting them on in today's game.
You better have a good game.
Oh, you've got to play well now.
You better have a good game. Yeah. You may be able to get away with a 6 out of 10 performance, but if you turn it up and you've not done at least one step over and one diag.
But you look at these players now, the brands, you know, it's more of a brandy game now, and you know, your Bellinghams and your Trents of this world.
They need something spicy.
They need a little bit of, they need to jazz it up. They're not as safe as me, are they, these days?
Not quite. Not quite.
But again, absolute magnificent football boots. top drawer.
Wow, I think that is kids watching this just before Christmas are going to be...
I mean, I'd walk around the house in them if I could. I'm telling you.
Yeah, when you see you taking the bins out of them, I'll know.
Honestly.
I'll know.
Yeah.
Stevie, that's an incredible lineup, but there's a boot up here that I know holds quite a special place in your heart. A very special boot. I want you to take us through it.
Yeah, I just thought when you asked me to do the interview and talk about the importance of Predators, this was the boot that Adidas designed for me personally. Last game, they knew I was bringing down the curtain, and they asked me could they do it, and obviously I said yeah, I'd love to see what the end product is. They didn't get any feedback from me. They just done it off themselves. So obviously they made the inner sole. I can maybe rip it out.
Don't destroy them.
No, I won't destroy it. We'll go back in, won't it? Plus I've got another pair as well.
That's not bad. Yeah. If you
they stick the inner sole in though, so it doesn't move.
That's something that doesn't happen in a regular retail pair of boots.
So a message on the inner sole, which was personal to me. I won't read it out because I can't see it on my glasses. But, just a personal touch with a link to the city. And then obviously all these red lines all over the boot are all my passes during my career, I'm told.
No way.
Yeah. So if you look at all the...
So every pass you've made across the pitch has been...
Yeah, it's been put onto the boot. Obviously personal touch, family, kids' names at the time.
Yeah.
Leo wasn't born, you never walk alone on the side. And then the number 8 printed on to the bottom of the boot. So just a nice personal touch. So these ones will always be above the top 3 and stuff. Right. Not in terms of how they look, but just in terms of how it felt and my personal relationship with the Predator boot. So have your own boot in your last game ever at Anfield, and then I wore them against Stoke, which we won't.
We'd leave that one. We'll leave that one
too much, but yeah, that would be the number 1 boot.
Stevie, thank you so much. Honestly, It's been an absolute pleasure.
I enjoyed it. It was good
to have you on Unlaced and really dig into your career and your absolute love of the Predator manias and football as a whole. And this is what Unlaced is all about: is bringing back football culture through the boots that really did shape the game. So Stevie, thank you. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, brother. Yes, guys, that was an incredible experience chatting to the legend that is Stevie G about his Predator journey and his career. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll be back next time with another very special guest. If you want to get your hands on some old school classics or holy grail boots, head to Rare Boots Marketplace, the #1 trusted supplier to buy and sell football boots. Guys, we'll see you next time. Make sure you like, share and subscribe.